Hello students, here we are with the quick review of chapter 2, that is relations and functions. First let us have the chapter overview, means what are the topics that are there in the chapter. The first one is Cartesian product of sets, because in the previous chapter we have learned what are sets and its different operations. So now the Cartesian products of sets. The second topic in this chapter is relations, and the third topic in this chapter is functions. Cartesian products of sets. What is this actually? Suppose A and B are two sets, then the Cartesian product is denoted by A cross B, and it is a set of ordered pairs AB. Ordered pairs we have learnt in our junior classes, class 9th and 10th, in coordinate geometry. This is called ordered pair because this order cannot be changed and these two are together always, so it is ordered pair. So it is a set of ordered pair where the first element comes from the first set in the sense ki the set which is on the left side of the cross mark, and the second element B, it comes from the set which is on the right side of the cross mark. And usually in Cartesian product A cross B is not equal to B cross A. That means, in other words, we can say Cartesian product is not commutative. Number of elements. How many number of elements this Cartesian product will have? That is known by this formula, because this n represents here the cardinal number. That means what is the number of elements in A cross B? That is number of elements in A and number of elements in B. For example, suppose in set A there are 2 elements and set B there are 3 elements, then in A cross B there would be 2 3s are 6 elements. Next is the concept of ordered triplet, and here we can see when 3 sets are multiplied in as Cartesian product A cross B cross C, then this it is a set of ordered triplet actually. In case of 2 sets there are ordered pair and it is ordered triplet, where the first element comes from the first set, the second element comes from the middle set, and the third element comes from the last set. So with the help of this much concept you can attempt the exercise, first exercise of this chapter, and it is a quite easy exercise where you can have to deal with equality of sometimes this ordered pairs, the number of elements, they will tell how to find A cross B or B cross A and all those, and sometimes they will give us some elements of A cross B, we have to find out the missing elements. So Cartesian product of sets is very easy. Next topic is relations. Usually relations are the subsets of Cartesian products of 2 sets. You have to remember this one that we have shown, R is a subset of A cross B, and it means this R is a relation from set A to set B if R is a subset of A cross B. Then after knowing what is a relation, some new terms that we are supposed to know. The first one is pre-image. The first element is the pre-image of the second element. Actually this definition I have written in a concise way, short way. The full sentence would have been, if R is a relation from A to B and there is a element xy which belong to R, then we can say X is the pre-image of Y. So this is the meaning, the first element is the pre-image of the second element. Next definition you are supposed to know is the image. The second element is the image of the first element. It means, again the same example we will take, if xy belong to R, then Y is the image of the first element. So these are some new terms in relation. Next new term, that if R is a subset of A cross B, the domain is a set of pre-images. That means if whatever elements this R will contain, if I take the first elements, that is pre-images, it will give us the domain of R. Range is set of images. That means if we take the set of second elements of the elements in R, then it will give us the range of R. And codomain is always set B. That means if R is a subset of A cross B, that means R is a relation from A to B, then set B is always known as the codomain. Usually in relation, the domain is a subset of A and range is a subset of B. It is usually it happens. Sometimes they could be equal also. That is why we are using the equal sign. But usually domain is a subset of A and range is a subset of B. Next is the functions. So what is a function? A function from f A cross B is basically it is a relation, but it is said to be a function if every element of A has a unique image in B. And in this regard I have shown this every and unique in a red and italics way, because these two words are very very important. Means every element of A must have an image, and that image should also be unique. So this has to be taken care, and a function is usually denoted by f colon A arrow B. So domain of f must be necessarily A, because every element of A has a image. So therefore domain of f is A. Domain will be B, where range of f is a set of images under f, and codomain is always B. So here we can see this A is different than the relation, but codomain and range they are same that we had followed for relation. Now function, usually in practical purposes we define differently. It is a correspondence which associates every element of A to a unique element of B. If A and B are subsets of R, then set of real numbers, then we can say f is said to be a real valued function. If f from A to B is a real valued function and x belong to A and y belong to B, then we can write y equal to fx. If y equal to fx is a real valued function, then domain of f is equal to set of values of f for which fx exists, and range is the set of values of y when x belong to domain. So with the help of this definition of domain and range, there will be lots of different types of questions where we have to find the domain and range of different functions, real valued function. Some real valued functions and their graph. This is also very much important for our future. So we must know about constant function, its definition, its domain, its range and graph. Identity function, polynomial function, rational function, modulus function, signum function, greatest integer function, exponential function and logarithmic function. And out of all these, this modulus function, signum and greatest integer are the most important, because they are not going to leave you till you pass class 12 and beyond also. So you must be very much aware of what they are, what are their domain, range and the graph as well. Last but not the least, in this chapter we have algebra of real functions. That means if f and g are two real valued function, then their sum is defined in this way. Their difference, this is scalar multiplication and the division. So this is all about chapter 2 and function. Also you must be aware about the domain and range of the following functions. So these are domain and range of some functions, and if you want to become strong at domain and range, you must be aware about the concept and the domain and range of these all functions which are visible on the screen, because function is the foundation of calculus. And if you're not clear about what is domain and range for this function, you won't be able to be strong at the calculus. And class 11, 12 ka backbone is the calculus. So you must be aware of all these functions, its domain and range.